Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and welcome to the finale of the Months of Key. I'm sorry this took a little bit longer than it should have, but it happens sometimes, and this one is a bit of a longer anime. So, what is the anime? It is Little Busters. Now, for this one we'll be looking at both Little Busters and Little Busters Refrain. I will not be looking at EX. EX will be saved for a later time. But for now, what did I think of these two? Well, let's find out. First up, the story. Now for the story, we're going to separate Refrain and the first season because I have different thoughts on both. With the story of the original Little Busters, the basic premise is 5 friends that call themselves the Little Busters are trying to form a baseball team. And basically, you go from there. Have your key moments of sadness and happiness, and all that little jazz in between. So, is it good? That's the problem. I think the story isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's really that good. Admittedly, the original season of Clannad, which I do compare Clannad to Little Busters, I do think that the first season of Clannad was compelling because you also had these other characters who had these major problems. Well, there were some of that in Little Busters. Excluding one arc in the first season, I really did not feel for them as much as I did other key anime. Not sure why, it just But on the other hand, though, it is still a pretty good, it's still decent enough story, just not quite what I would have liked from a key anime. Refrain, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. It has a much better story, although a little harsher, and I'm not sure I like how harsh it gets. And I hate saying that because one, it's only half the size of the first season. 2, it cuts out all filler episodes that could have been in there. And 3, it's solid from beginning to end. It's just, I'm not greatly fond of this story either. It's just a little too harsh at times for my tastes. All in all, though, it's still a good story. Overall, both story elements I think are good in their own way, but have their problems in their own way. Also, I found this, if you don't like the characters, you will not like the story. This is a much more character-driven anime, which I'll explain more about in a minute. But overall, the story is It has its good points, but it also has some bad points. And I do think it's the weakest element of Little Busters. Next up are the characters. I'm only going to really focus on the main 5, since they have some of the most screen time. First up, you have Riki, your main character. To say the least, he's not quite like the other key protagonists like Tomoya, Yuichi. All 3 of them have their own little things about them. They're more snarky and less childish than Riki is. Riki has a unique portrayal for a key protagonist. I actually really like that. Overall, I really like Riki as a character. I also like how he matures throughout the story. Not gonna spoil how and why, though. Next up is Kyosuke, the technical leader of the Little Busters. This guy is the cool character, and definitely I can see why. All the people look up to him. He's that guy that everyone looks up to and all that jazz. But I also like he is, at times, kind of an otaku and reads manga and gets a few good funny lines because of it. Overall, I really like Kyosuke's character, and I really like his relationship with Riki and everybody. Overall, good character. Next up is the main female protagonist, Rin. Now, Rin is a pretty good character as well, actually. I really like her. I find there are some that don't like her, and I can see why. I don't mind her personally. I just kind of liked her, and nothing more needs to be said there. Next up we have Masato. Okay, this guy I really like because he has some really hilarious lines, and I don't know, I just kind of found him just a good character. Nothing more needs to be said. And then finally we have Keigo, the disciplined member of the group. Definitely a good character, and one I personally really like. The rest of the characters are also pretty good, but I do think they have some hit or miss moments. But again, you get what you get, and I like them all enough. Overall, great character cast. And definitely worthy of me saying, I really like this character cast. Next up is the animation. Now, I know a lot of people are bugged by the fact that this was not done by Kyoto Animation and done by JC Staff. But admittedly, I think JC Staff did a pretty good job for what they did. True, I kinda like Kyoto's way better, but this is pretty good too. Definitely something I really like. Nothing more needs to be said. Good job, JC Staff. Finally, we have the music. Or the sound department, as other people would call it. I'm gonna go with the opening and endings of both seasons first. The opening and ending of Little Busters, the first season, is pretty good. I like them both and just quite enjoyed them. However, Refrain I did not. I don't know, I just didn't like the theme song or the ending theme that much for Refrain. Nothing against them, just didn't like it as much. I will say though that the OST makes up for any problems the rest of the series has. Again, quite an enjoyable little thing. Finally, we have the sub versus the dub. Your benefits for the sub are pretty solid cast, and I think just do an overall good job. The dub is actually a very interesting dub, though. It is a Sentai Filmworks dub, but there's a twist. The dub is possibly one of the more interesting ones. Not only is it actually a decent dub from Sentai Filmworks, but when you have a few of the miscast roles, it goes into hilariously badly miscast. Oh my god, there's one character voiced by Greg Aries, I won't dare spoil who, but it is so horribly miscast, it's hilarious to watch. Oh my god, I laughed so hard when I first heard the voice, and just, oh my god. Oh. Honestly, I think the best role of the dub was Tiffany Grant for adding something to one of the characters named Kudo that the sub did not have, but I actually thought was a very good job on Tiffany Grant's part. Great job for adding something the sub did not have that is established in the continuity of the show. Good job. Overall, I really like Little Busters. It's definitely one of the preferred key anime I liked. Not quite to the same level as Clannad, sadly. I don't think it was as special as it was, but I definitely think it was a great anime. Nice and relaxing when it wanted to be, dark and depressing when it wanted to be, and just everything in between. Not much more needs to be said except I enjoyed it, and I'm glad if I have to end the month sub-key with anything else other than Clannad, it would have been this. So I'm very happy with that. I give Little Busters and Little Busters Refrain an 8.5 out of 10. It's a little shy of a 9 out of 10 because of some minor little gripes I have with it. But aside from that, it's actually a really good anime, and I do recommend it. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you guys next time.